Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Nicole. How's everybody doing today? Thank you for choosing to watch my video today. My name is Nicole and this is my channel about addiction and recovery and just my life, and I'm telling story time today. It's a continuation from yesterday about my stay in prison. So I really would like you guys to subscribe to my channel. There's a little red button. You know what to do. Punch it and give my video a thumbs up. It really does help me. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know if these story times are good, if you're enjoying them, if they're keeping your attention. And yeah, that's Jetta right there. We have 4 dogs. You guys are going to learn so much more about me, especially through these videos and the story times. And you guys have already seen my son, and so maybe one day you'll get to meet Neil. But enough blabbing. Let's get back to the story. So we left off yesterday. I was in RPF, and one of the girls had done her diddly in the shower. So I thought today what I could do was kind of walk you guys through a day at the prison. And when I say prison, please know that this was a therapeutic community boot camp style prison for non-violent offenders. So I was sent there because I had a drug charge. There was nobody there that was like, had assault charges or burglary charges or anything that was violent. Just, like I said, drug charges, petty crimes like that. So, I thought I'd walk you guys through a day at the prison. So, every morning when I would wake up, we would get ready, and by 5 a.m., we would have to be in the chow hall. And at chow, we literally had 10 minutes to eat, you guys. So, like, there wasn't any coming in, sitting down, and talking to each other. There wasn't any, like, oh, let me get my coffee, let me get my orange juice. Like, you got in line, you got your breakfast, you ate it, and then you left. The way the compound operated was the inmates run everything. The inmates make the food. The inmates do the laundry. The inmates do any construction, any of the lawn mowing that needed to be done on the compound. Like, we did everything. So every morning we get up really early, have to be there at 5 a.m. to eat breakfast. And oh my gosh, you guys, it would be like a line out the door to eat breakfast. And we would all line up and we just go, in a line and check it and then come out and sit down and eat. The guards would walk around. You literally could not talk. Like, all you could do was eat. 10 minutes and then you're done. So most of the mornings we would have like sausage and biscuits or sausage and gravy. There were some days where we'd have these big old stacks of pancakes with butter and syrup. They always fed us really good. And the girls that worked inside the kitchen, they took pride in their jobs. You know what I mean? Like, when you got to work in the kitchen or if you got to work on laundry, those were like jobs that you wanted to be in because, first of all, you were inside and it wasn't hot. And second of all, it was like there was things there that could benefit you. Like, a lot of the times the girls that would work in the kitchen would have extra snacks that they got to bring back to their unit, or they would make brownies or sneak all kinds of different stuff back. I worked in the laundry. At first, when I first got there, they assigned me to CWC, which was like the construction part, like the outside work. And I worked on CWC for like a week, and one of the guards saw me, and she just took a liking to me. She was like, do you want to come work in laundry? And I was like, hell yeah. Because I had heard about laundry. Like, when you get there, what will happen is a lot of the girls will see that you're new. And if you live in the compound with them or whatever, they'll come in, they'll kind of give you the lowdown on what's going on. I know a lot of people hear about being locked up and they think, oh my gosh, were the girls cutting your throats? It really is like Orange is the New Black. Like, it's like a little community, and we all have to be there. So most of the time the girls were going to make the best out of the situation. And don't get me wrong, you always had that one bitch who was crazy that would ruin it for everybody. And I remember, who was the girl? Okay. There was a little short girl. She kept her hair cut real short like a boy. And she was dating this real tall girl. And every Friday when we would have confrontation group, we would be there for like hours because her and her girlfriend would be getting in trouble. Because they would just out and out do kiss and hold hands. I mean, you could not do that, you guys. And because you would catch disciplinaries. And what they would do is, one girl had to be there for 2 years and the other one only had a year. And so the one that only had a year literally got in trouble until she got an extra year tacked onto her time so she could be in there with her girlfriend the whole time. And I know that you're probably thinking, no way. I swear. Like, the mentality that a lot of these girls had was they were better off being there. They were better off in the joint because they got 3 meals, they were safe, they could be with somebody that they cared about, and it was sad because a lot of the girls in there, they were in there for drugs and alcohol, and they just really didn't even ever have a chance, you know? By the time I had went to South Arkansas, to the prison, I had already been to 2 treatment centers, Quapaw House and South Arkansas Substance Abuse. So when I got to prison, I already knew like I had a problem. I already knew that I was a drug addict, you know, and I knew that I needed to get help. And I remember quite clearly being there and thinking like, I'm going to change my life. And when I get out of here, excuse me, I'm never going to come back. I'm never going to go back to the way I was living, you know, and, being there, I was sober. I was sober because, you know, I couldn't get drugs. Now, don't get me wrong. When I worked down in laundry, somehow the girls snuck in cigarettes. So we would be down there and we would smoke and we would sit out on the back of the, it was like a little back asphalt area, and it would be early in the morning because every morning I had to wake up and at 2 a.m., you guys, and I had to wait outside for the laundry truck to pick me up. So there was like 7 of us that worked in laundry. And every morning at 2, the guard and the 7 other girls, the guard would drive and pick up the first set of girls, then come over and pick the next set up, and then me. And we would load up these huge, when I tell you the bags of laundry, they were so big that they took up the whole bed of the truck. And we had to stack them on top of each other. So they would be 6 feet in the air out of the bed of the truck. So we had to sit on top of them to hold them down. And we had to put these little like stretchy things over there and clip it to both sides of the truck to hold the laundry down. And we would like, most of us would sit inside the cab, and then 2 of us would sit out on the back of the truck on top of the laundry baskets and ride down to the laundry room. We would get down there to the laundry, you guys. And the girls that worked with me in laundry, they were cool. Like, they picked me. They told the guard to come find me and kind of like bring me on the team. And then whenever it was time for me to leave, I did the same thing. I picked one of the girls to come and take my place. You know, it was a good job to have because it was like you had freedom, you know, and we could talk to each other. We could laugh. We could listen to the radio. We could eat good food. The guard, she was so nice. She would bring us free world food all the time. And it was just, it was like some kind of normalcy. You know what I mean? It was like I could almost trick my mind into thinking like I was out on the outside, you know, just working a job. Every day. So the laundry machines, like the washer and dryer, they were so big that we would turn the heat off to the dryer and we would get inside of it, turn it on, and go boop, 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 spinning. It was fun. It was fun. And we would laugh and we would laugh and we would laugh. It would take us from about 3 a.m. till about noon to finish the whole compound's laundry. And if we were if we had to press clothes that day, or, you know, because we had a big old pressing machine, we would be there till about 2. And the only people who got their stuff pressed was we were allowed to press our stuff, and then we would also press the girls that had status. And what status was the way the therapeutic community worked was you would have a president, like a vice president, and like somebody that was her assistant. Like there was 4 girls that were kind of like the leaders of the compound. And when we would have confrontation circle, we would all sit and we would talk to each other about the negative behaviors that we were doing. And the way you gained status was by confronting people. So the more people you confronted and told what they were doing, the higher you would get in your status. So I didn't make it to be one of those girls. Like I just did what I had to do to get by and stayed at a low status because I didn't want to like be telling on everybody all the time. I just did what I had to do. And the way we would do it was you would make friends with somebody and you two would make up stuff to tell on each other for. So that way you could gain your status and get out of there, because we had to make status. So that way we could, when our release date would come up, that they wouldn't hold us back for anything. You know what I mean? Because they could do that. They could add like 30 days onto it if they wanted to, because it was a therapeutic community. And we had to like show that we were making progress by changing our old behaviors. It was supposed to be like a behavioral changing kind of place, you know? It was, oh gosh, it was something, you guys. But like I said, every Friday we would do confrontation circle, and that's when the shit would hit the fan. That's when like all the girls would tell on each other for sexually acting out. I only got taken to the floor for sexually acting out one time, and that was because somebody said me and my friend Catherine were sitting too close to each other in the auditorium, and our arms were touching each other. And that's it. Like I didn't get down like that while I was there. I thought about it. I thought about having a girlfriend, but it was just not something I could do. Like I didn't have free reign. I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't do that knowing that other people would see me. When I was younger, I experimented and I dated a girl for like 2 years, but I quickly grew out of it, and you know now I have a man. But it was almost like something the girls did to make the time pass by faster, you know? So after we would get done doing the laundry and we would go to lunch and we would eat, then we would have to do like these deuces. They called it getting a deuce. And we would line up. One line right here, one line right here. And we would have to chant and march. I don't know what you've been told. Compound C is off the chain, or something like that. I can't remember what the chants were, but it was like, I don't know what you've been told. I don't know what you've been told. Something, rock the hose. I don't know. It was just hilarious. And they would rhyme, and we would march the whole compound, you guys. And it was a big area. So we'd be like, da 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 da. Boom. Dun 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 dun. Boom. Boom. Dun 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 dun. Boom. Boom. Dun 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 dun. Boom. Boom. Sound off. 1, 2. Sound off. 3, 4. Break it on down. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we wouldn't do that dance and stuff. But like you would have one girl at the front of the deuce who led the deuce. And then you would have like me or somebody else at the back of it. And I would make sure the deuce stayed tight. Like, and what I mean by that is like you only had a person's length in between you and the person in front of you. You weren't like lagging behind and dragging the deuce out. Like you stayed in sequence. And we would practice that for hours a day, you guys. Just marching around in deuces. We had to march whether it was raining, sleeting, snowing. It did not matter. We had to march. We marched to breakfast. We marched to lunch. We marched to dinner. I remember a time where it rained for so many days so many days. And you know, when you're in prison, all they give you is like those Bob Barker shoes. There's like some orange slide flip-flops or some of the white, like Keds looking Converse kind of shoes. So you would literally wear holes in the bottoms of your shoes from marching so much. It rains for so many days. I had holes in the bottom of my shoes. My socks were just soaking wet. And it was just like, you just went on. You had to do what you had to do. It's like you had to wear the shoes until you could order another pair on commissary. You know, it was crazy, guys. Then when it would get cold, we had to march. And when it was real cold, we would put on they gave us these big like work jackets, beanies, and gloves. And we would march. Dun, 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 dun. I like the beat. So I was always like the girl at the back of the deuce who held up the deuce and was like chanting really loud. I got into it, you guys. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know why. I did. We would have like a time where we could have like either you could go to church on Sundays or you could like have kind of like a recess, I guess you could say, where we would all be in the gym. We would play basketball, or some of us would like walk around the gym and exercise. And then on Saturdays, every Saturday, we would have visitation for 4 hours. And my mom and dad would come every other weekend. And I remember them coming and visiting me for the first time. And my dad was just like, he was just like, I can't believe that we're visiting you here in prison, you know? Like, they had never had to do that before. I'd never really been locked up before. And I just remember thinking, like, how ashamed I was of myself for putting my family through this. Then I made friends with a girl named Rhonda. And she and I got really close, and she ended up confiding in me about her mom was sneaking her hydrocodones in every visit. Jackpot! Now I don't have to be sober this whole time I'm in here. So you guys know what I did. I made friends with her, and I started helping her, you know, smuggle the hydrocodones in each visit. And we had to strip search when we went in and when we came out. So, yeah. We would have to get like plastic bags, or pieces of plastic, and put the pills in it and wrap them up real, real tight. And y'all know, high up in there. And then push them out when we got back to our units. And I remember the first time she gave me they were the yellow Norcos, and I took like 3 and I puked the whole time. And I thought, I must be getting soft. But it was because I had been sober, you know, for like 8 months that I had been in there. It was towards the end that she started kind of sharing her hydros with me and stuff. So that kind of like, I don't know, it made it like it made it more tolerable to be there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of some other stuff that happened. It was long ago that I was there, and it's hard to remember. But the reason I remember that other story is because how could I forget that girl doing the dun 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 dun? It was a lot, you guys, and I was there for a whole year. I remember I had a calendar hanging on the wall beside my bunk, and I would just mark the days off as they went, you know. But I know when I got out of there, I was like, I'm never coming back here again. I'm never going to get in trouble like that again. And I didn't get in trouble to where I had to get locked up, you know, ever again. But I did like get caught for shoplifting, and I did, you know, get pulled over for bullshit, like not having insurance and stuff like that. But I never had to go back there. Yeah, so that's really the way it would go, you know, and then we would go to bed at night and wake right back up in the morning. There was one time where the whole compound had the flu. Like, the whole compound was on quarantine. It was like, the flu started at the first building, the first little unit, and then it just made its way down, and we were all so sick. They had to quarantine us because it was just passing through the whole compound. And that's how it would happen. It's like anything that happened, it would go through the whole place. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It was such an experience, but I will never want to go there again. You know, it was not anything, I didn't learn anything while I was there. They didn't teach me a trade. I mean, it was just like I was just there to do my time, you know, and tell on people so I could get out on time. But yep, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That was my prison story. Not much really, you know, to talk about anymore, but I really want to keep on telling you guys. So this is what I'm thinking we'll do. So there's that. Now what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to start and I'm going to tell you guys from the day I was born. Okay. I'm going to start out from when I was a little girl, and we will go through and I'll just talk to you guys about, you know, how I got addicted to drugs. And I don't think a lot of you have seen my story of how I got addicted to drugs or what happened or why I started using in the first place. So I will make an in-depth video about that tomorrow. And then we'll go from there. I have some really crazy stories. What we'll do tomorrow is I'll explain to you guys how I got addicted. And then the next day, what I'll do is I'll tell you guys some stories of stuff that happened to me when I was in my active addiction. Like, I used to hallucinate. Y'all, I used to hallucinate so bad. I would see stuff that wasn't there, and y'all are going to laugh. It was crazy. It's crazy. But I'm glad that I'm not like that anymore. And I'm also glad that, you know, God protected me and I didn't have to go back to prison, and I haven't had to go, you know, do any more time. I'm very, very fortunate because there's plenty of things that I've done, you know, after I got released that I should be in prison for. So I'm just super grateful. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that was a good one. I really hit y'all with the craziness yesterday when I told y'all about that girl in the shower, because I told that story when I went to rehab too, when I got out of prison. When I got out of prison in 2010, I paroled out to a halfway house here in Little Rock. And that's how I moved here to Little Rock, because I'm not from here. So I paroled out to a halfway house in 2010, and I was living there, and me and my friends we would, you know, like go to meetings together. I got a sponsor, and I told all the girls about it when I got out because it was like still so fresh in my mind. And we would do that song, ding, 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 ding. It was just, oh my God, it's crazy. But, if y'all want me to, I'll tell you guys. I guess we could just keep on going. Okay. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll just keep on going. Tomorrow we'll talk about when I got out, where I paroled out to, and what happened there at the halfway house, because that was 2010 and it's already 2018. So I got 8 years to tell y'all about. So I hope y'all will tune in tomorrow. I really enjoy talking to you guys and sharing my story with you guys. And just know that I'm not glorifying drug addiction or using, like, these are just my stories and these are things that I went through. You know, that maybe if I talk to you guys about them, you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. So I love you guys, and I hope you're having a great night, and I'll see you later.